this video, we're going to look at how we graph marginal utility and total utility. So we're going to look at an individual, we'll call her Sally. And Sally bought a pizza after work and it was cut into 8 pieces. So Sally decides that she's going to sit down in front of the TV and eat some pizza. So she has her first unit of pizza, and let's say from that individual unit of pizza, she is able to have, let's say, and we're going to do kind of weird bars down here. So let's see if I can do this in relatively straight. We'll say her first unit of pizza gives her, let's say, 8 units of satisfaction. Okay, so she has 8 units of satisfaction, and we're going to say that this is the amount that she derived from that first unit of pizza. So if we take her marginal utility and we bring it up here to her total utility, when she had 0 units of pizza, she had 0 units of total utility. She had her first unit of pizza and she was able to get, we'll say, 8 units of overall satisfaction. So we're going to put a dot there on her her total utility. So she went from 0 units of utility up to 8 units of utility. Okay, so there's the line for her total utility, and this down here is her marginal utility. So she has a second unit of pizza, and let's say that she was really hungry, so she enjoyed that second unit of pizza just as much as that first unit of pizza. She got 8 units of satisfaction from that second unit of pizza as well. Okay, so now for this second unit of pizza, she derived an additional 8 units of pizza. So after 2 slices of pizza, let's say that she is at 16 units of satisfaction. So we'll put a dot there and say that this corresponds with 16 units of overall satisfaction. So her marginal utility and her total utility curves are looking something like this. Okay, all right. Okay, so obviously this was our first point and this is our second point of utility. Okay, it's so difficult to draw a curve on these tablets, so please forgive me. Okay, so she's eating her second piece of pizza and she's watching TV, and then she decides, what the heck, I'm going to go ahead and have a third piece of pizza. So she has a third piece of pizza, but this time she doesn't derive as much satisfaction from it. Let's say that she gets 4 units of satisfaction. Okay, so her next piece of pizza is going to add an additional 4 units of satisfaction. Her third piece of pizza is going to take her total from 16 units up here for her third one, and we're going to add 4 more units of satisfaction. So we'll say that this dot right here corresponds with 20 units of total satisfaction. So at this point, we can see that diminishing marginal utility has already happened. It set in after the second unit. Between the second and the third unit, her marginal utility fell. She had less utility from the third unit than she did from the second unit. So let's say that she's still a little bit hungry and she decides to have a 4th unit of pizza, and this 4th unit of pizza gives her 2 additional units of satisfaction. Okay, so her 4th unit of pizza is going to give her 2 additional units of satisfaction, and she's going to be at 22 units of satisfaction. Okay, so 22 units of total utility. Okay, now notice this curve started out steep. The slope between 0 and 8 and 8 and 16 should be the exact same. And then notice what's happening to this slope. I'll do it in a really a lighter blue color. But notice what's happening to this slope. If we look at what's going on with rise over run, through here it should be the same. And then the slope is getting significantly flatter. Okay? And the slope starts to get flatter as soon as right here when diminishing marginal utility sets in. The utility isn't getting as steep, or the total utility isn't as steep because the marginal utility has started to decrease. So notice that the utility is still positive though. The marginal utility is still positive. Let's take this, let's say for argument's sake that she decides to have 1 additional piece of pizza, and that would be the 5th piece of pizza, and it is giving her 0 units of additional satisfaction. Okay, so this is 0 units of additional satisfaction. So this was 8 units of satisfaction, this was 4 units of satisfaction, and this down here is 0 units of satisfaction. Okay, so that means she had her 5th piece of pizza, but it didn't give her any additional satisfaction, so we would see that it would be a straight line to her 5th piece of pizza. Okay, so this one over here, if we wanted to go back, we could say that this was a positive 8, the one before it was a positive 8, this was an addition of 4 units, this was an addition of 2 units of satisfaction, this is an addition of 0 units of satisfaction, and then let's say she is watching TV and is fully engrossed in the show she's watching or the movie she's watching, and she kind of doesn't even really think about it, but she reaches for another piece of pizza. She eats this next piece of pizza, and let's say that she is dissatisfied after eating this next piece of pizza. And let's say that her utility now, let's say that after that 6th piece of pizza, let's say that she has negative 10 units of marginal utility just from that last piece of pizza. So that means if we were to come up here to our total utility, it would go from 22 down on the 6th one. We'd come all the way down here to 12. Okay, so 12 is probably somewhere about right here. Okay, so this is what's going to happen to her total utility. Okay, so now on this last one, we have that utility fell by 10. Okay, so this function up until this point right here was increasing at a decreasing rate. For units 3, 4, it was increasing at a decreasing rate. For unit 5, there was no additional utility that was gained because marginal utility is 0, and then the utility started to fall. Her total utility started to fall when her marginal utility turned negative. Okay, so whenever a marginal anything turns negative, it means that the total is going to be decreasing. It doesn't mean that the total is going to turn negative. It just means that the total is going to start decreasing. So obviously Sally should have stopped at probably the 4th unit of pizza. She got no additional unit of satisfaction by eating that 5th piece, but she wasn't made any worse off. So, it's a judgment call. Maybe she'll eat that 5th unit of pizza, but she certainly shouldn't have eaten that 6th unit of pizza. So the relationship between marginal utility and total utility, we can look at a number of different ways, but looking at it graphically is one that definitely helps to kind of put the whole thing in perspective.